Hi again, hand readers. I'm Jennifer. I'm based in Johannesburg. I've been reading hands and teaching chirology and palmistry for almost 30 years now. And in today's video, I'm talking about the 4 different skin texture types. In determining the texture of the skin, what we're really feeling for is softness, hardness, temperature, any nuances. And the way to do that is to really stroke the skin with your fingertips in a very light way. And through that, you'll receive impressions, moisture, dryness, roughness. Starting with earth skin, which is really rough and hard and dry usually. It's the kind of skin you'd find on farmers or laborers, and it's the kind of skin that when you run your hands over it, you can really feel those ridges very strongly. That is governed by earth, and it tells you about the person really enjoying an interface with things earthy. These people are unlikely to come for hand reading. In all my years of experience, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever had anybody come and see me with a pure earth skin type. It's good to know about though. Water skin is mostly soft, quite podgy, often moist, warm, and you can't really feel the ridges on water skin. It's a smooth skin. It might feel, on the opposite of warm, it might feel quite cool and clammy, but there's definitely going to be some element of moisture that you can sense coming through the skin texture of that person. And of course, water governing emotion, immediately we realize that that's going to be a more sensitive and emotional person. So we've covered the earth skin, which is going to be very dry and very rough, and more the laborer's type hand, a person who likes to be with the earth. We've touched on the water skin, which is a person who has more acute sensitivity in life, very spongy, which is exactly, you can map that concept over into their psyche. They receive, they're very impressionable, they're perhaps even manipulable, and there's a whole vocabulary that goes with that particular skin texture type, much like there is with each of the element markers that you see on the hands. What I thought I'd like to share as well, that's quite interesting, is that if you're new to hand reading, your 4 basics that you want to be learning is your shape, your skin, your dermatoglyphics, and the thumbs. Learning about the thumbs, known as the ruler of the hands, and I'll be talking lots on that in due course. But basically these 4 fundamentals, these 4 pillars, if you like, or if you like 4 foundations, interestingly excluding the lines. The lines can come later, but if we know enough about these 4 basics, you'll already be on the way. You can actually do quite an effective reading just based on shape, skin, thumbs, and dermatoglyphics. Skin texture to touch on is the fire skin. And as I keep saying in my videos, that it goes from earth to water to fire to air in that order, based on the principle of graduated materiality, which speaks about how the elements manifest in varied degrees of vibrational frequency from the most dense to the most refined. And fire is now the 3rd level, 3rd tier. And fire skin will be unyielding, it'll be roughish, not as rough as the earth skin, but you will be able to feel the pores and possibly even see them. You'll feel the ridges. There'll be a kind of a dryness to it, a firmness to it. And fire skin will immediately give you that sense as you stroke that skin of that fire skin person. You'll feel that they're quite practical, they're quite robust in the world, they're stronger in the world than, say, the water-typed air skin, which is much more sensitive and more malleable and more susceptible to vibrational frequencies and so on. So there's much more sensitivity with water than there is with fire. To touch on the environments that each skin texture type might be suited to, we've already said that the earth skin person likes to be in nature, somewhere where it's tactile, linked to the earth in some way or something earthy. And the water skin person, being so sensitive, would be better perhaps in a therapeutic type work, or in an environment where they have a caring team around them, where people support them. Whereas the fire skin that we've just mentioned, this is a person who's really like water off the duck's back. These people cope very well in corporate. And now we come to the air skin. And air is about, as I mentioned in the shape, it's always about sort of research and analysis and thinking and intellect and so on. So the air skin people, and that's a skin that is smooth and dry, and you can't really see the ridges, you can't really see the pores, but there's something tautish about it. It's usually quite a firm skin, and this is the sign of a person who enjoys research. So any kind of work, perhaps from books to IT to anything to do with sort of intellectual involvement, participation, that would really suit the air-skinned person. And air-skinned people as well are very responsive in chirological reading, because they're curious about how it all works and how it all hangs together. So these are the people that you can get quite a nice deep rapport with, especially with your articulation, your vocabulary. With the water people, you want to be a little bit more empathic, more soft and emotionally connected to them. Fire people, they just like it punchy and quick and to the point. And earth people, as I said earlier, don't often come for readings. Please let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like me to focus on particularly. I've pretty much covered, well, a fair share, let's say, of the basics of hand reading. Now I'd like to be a little bit more flexible and run with what really works for you, what interests you, so that I can really be of service in some way, so that we can talk about what areas of hand reading you are particularly interested in. And please share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now.